let's talk vans. And not just any van. We're talking about the kind of commercial vehicle designed for serious work, big cargo, bigger stops, and a whole lot of in and out efficiency. If you've ever looked at a UPS or FedEx truck and thought, is that thing? This one's for you. To break it down, I called in the experts. Joe Snyder, Dealer Marketing and Training Manager at Freightliner Custom Chassis, and Chris Wolff, Product Manager for all things walk-in van at FCCC. These two know walk-in vans inside and out, literally. So let's start with the basics.
So a walk-in van is a commercial vehicle that's designed to have a spacious cargo area with a low step height, which allows drivers easy access to get out of the vehicle and then back in to either deliver packages or provide services to their end customer.
So if you want a picture in your mind, if you have seen a FedEx, UPS, bread delivery vehicle, those are the types of vehicles that we're best known for.
So yeah, we're talking about the tall ones with shelves, a walk-through cab, and a whole lot of room to move. Now, if you've heard the term step van, you're not wrong.
So a walk-in van and step van are essentially the same vehicle. The history behind the word step van is in about 1958, Chevrolet had a chassis with a body on it that they called as a completed unit a step van. GM's was a value van. And so that step van name just stuck with the industry over the years, and so now they've become pretty much synonymous.
A traditional cargo van generally is smaller on a class 3 size vehicle, and it is designed more for hauling cargo from one spot to the next in a single route drop. Versus a walk-in van is designed for multiple stops a day. So it's a bigger vehicle, so it's got higher head height inside the cab, easy access through the passenger door with a set of steps and a rail, and then customizing shelving in the back to hold all the cargo that an end user may be hauling. And it's really designed for those multiple stops a day, 200 stops within one shift, where the driver's getting up and getting out of the vehicle multiple times. The low step height and the ergonomics through the passenger door make their job easier, prevent injuries, and allow them to be more efficient.
Basically, it's like soda versus pop. Same thing, different name. Now that we know what it is, let's talk about who's actually using them.
So there's a lot of different industries. The main one is really the last mile delivery. So your parcel delivery industries, as well as bakery delivery, linen delivery, anything in terms of laundromat servicing where we're moving material and stopping at multiple locations throughout the day. They're also used pretty widely by utility companies. So more of a work-in van application where you build it out as a mobile lab. You have shelves, equipment, tools. It can be that one-stop shop for folks to use to get their job done. We've seen walk-in vans used for emergency vehicles, fire rescue, ambulance applications, for police enforcement, SWAT trucks, mobile command centers. So there's a really vast amount of applications you can use it for.
These vans are the behind-the-scenes MVPs for all kinds of jobs. So what makes them so popular?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest benefits is just the ease in and out of the cargo area. So from an ergonomic standpoint, from a driver, they can spin around in their chair, stand up. They've got head height, so they're not bumping their head. Walk through the bulkhead door into the back to get the cargo, then walk back down through the front passenger door to get out through a level of steps. So it's an ergonomic, easy in and out vehicle, and it generally has higher payload. So compared to a smaller class 3 van, you have got more payload. You can carry more cargo to deliver that to all of the end customers throughout the day. The other huge benefit is customization. So we at FCCC provide the chassis, and then there's multiple bodybuilder upfitters that put the body on the chassis. The customization is essentially endless, right? They're tailor built for each customer's application and exactly what they need. So there's a lot more flexibility to build a truck that really works for your day-to-day versus a traditional class 3 van.
Fleets love them for flexibility. Drivers love them for not having to crouch like goblins to grab tools. But are there any downsides?
Yeah, when it comes to fleet managers out there, it's the real limitation is that if they're used to using cargo vans or they're used to using box trucks, they don't often think about a walk-in van for their growth. So when their business starts to grow and they're doing 20, 30, 40 stops a day, and they continue to try to do their business out of the same vehicle, they're they maybe don't think about a walk-in van. And walk-in vans, just like Chris was saying, they're efficient. You don't have to walk out into traffic and open up a back door and climb in and out and close it back down. It's nearly impossible to do the number of stops that our vehicles can do out of a box truck. So um, I think the real downside is for fleet managers is to start thinking about, oh, how could I use this vehicle better, or what vehicle could work better for us? And that is a customized vehicle that's specific to their needs. So
Yeah, and I think one thing I would add to that, Lauren, is just if you look at a walk-in van compared to a Sprinter or a Transit, a smaller class van, the initial cost is a little higher of the walk-in van, right? Which that is could be a downside from a fleet owner standpoint. But when you look at the product over the total life of it, right? The walk-in van chassis is a commercial vehicle. It's built and tested to, DTNA standards on the heavy truck side. It's meant to last 20 plus years. And so it will outwork those smaller vehicles. And if you look at the overall total cost of ownership, it's actually going to save fleet owners money in the long run. They just have to understand that initially that initial acquisition price might be higher compared to a smaller vehicle.
So, the biggest challenge? Changing your mindset. If you're growing and still relying on a cargo van, it might be time to level up.
The biggest hurdle or thing the manager needs to look at first is just understanding their use case and what they need specific for their vehicle to make it work the best. Um, you know, back to my earlier comment, there's endless opportunities and features a bodybuilder can build into a vehicle. That fleet manager needs to understand exactly what they need, what kind of shelving layout they want, um, how they want to optimize the length of the body, the width of the body, all the different variables so that the van is set up and is going to work the best for their application. On top of that, looking at from the chassis side, do we want to go gasoline, diesel, EV? Where does that fit in with the overall fleet's portfolio, with fueling infrastructure, long-term greenhouse gas goals, really understanding the need and then tailoring the vehicle for the need. Exactly. We at FCCC, we've got the GM 66 gasoline engine, we've got the Cummins 67 diesel engine, and then we've got our MT50E, which is a full electric variant with Proterra batteries.
This isn't one size fits all. You can go gas, diesel, or full electric, depending on your needs and future goals. Now, what about actually driving one?
The majority of the walk-in vans are built under the 26,000 pound GVWR, which would be the threshold requiring a CDL. Now, we do spec chassis with air brakes. We do spec chassis over the 26,000 pounds. So there is a potential, depending on the use case, that the driver may need a CDL. But generally speaking, the majority of the vans are under that threshold and they're hydraulic brakes.
They're bigger than a van, but easier to handle than most people think. And they're loaded with tech to help.
Larger vehicle, especially when you spec a long wheelbase, like a 208-inch wheelbase with an 18-foot body on it, it becomes a pretty large vehicle. The one benefit with the walk-in vans is we have a very aggressive steering angle. So from a steering radius or cut angle, FCCC is leading the charge with a tight steering radius with a vehicle that big, and that helps maneuver in those parking lots. The other benefits we offer is we have an optional 360 camera that's integrated into the dash. So when a driver is backing up, they've got a top-down view. Turning left, they've got a left side view with turn signal, same with right, as well as obstacle detection sensors overhead to detect loading docks, trees, whatever they may be trying to navigate around. So we built those features into the vehicle to make it easier for them to drive.
These vehicles can be mobile offices, workshops, storefronts, you name it. And yeah, they can be wrapped to look like a rolling billboard too.
The opportunities or potentials are endless, really. I think, this year at the Work Truck Show, we had a display of a command center done by LDV that's used for mobile police support. We had a Con Edison utility truck that was all set up to do underground utility work. And then we had an Alsco linen truck. So that was just a small example of the various applications we serve.
the work-in van aspect of it is a growing area for us. It's something that our dealers need to think more of. It's something our customers need to think more of. I would say, the going back to an earlier question, one of the downsides, well, they see our truck and they see that it doesn't have a pretty dash on it. It doesn't have a pretty radio in it. It's not real pretty. It's efficient and it's efficient for delivery. as well as being efficient as a work vehicle. So whereas a mechanic, maybe they like having a pickup truck, they like uh, the fact that they have a nice cushy seat and it sits down low, but the visibility is just not there. The safety is just not there. The workshop in the back is, if they have to get in and out of the back of their vehicle, they're hunched down and they're trying to find tools and stuff. If they would open their mind up to having, focusing more on their workspace and less on the driver seating area or what it looks like, they would have a much better experience working on stuff inside of an inside shop. No rain, no snow, no ice. Uh, they could have all their tools lined up on the walls, just like a tool truck, another application that we're known for. Food truck deliveries. So there's just a multiple of applications that some customers use us for, but we probably should be more widely used in those areas as well. If you're an entrepreneur and you're starting a business, this is definitely the vehicle you want to look at.
Benefit of Freightliner Custom Chassis being part of Daimler Trucks North America and the greater Daimler organization is we can leverage a lot of the safety systems used on the truck side. So we have overhead obstacle detection, so sensors in the top, both in the rear and the front, to detect whether it's loading docks or tree branches. We have the 360 camera we talked about earlier integrated into the cluster to offer that top-down 360 view in parking. We've got lane departure warning, so similar to what you'll see on a passenger car. If you drift out of lane, you'll get an alert on the dash, as well as collision mitigation. So we've got a camera watching, so if you were distracted and someone jumps on the brakes in front of you, the vehicle will detect that and automatically apply the brakes. We also are in the works of getting a lane keep assist. So we'll have the lane departure warning plus lane keep assist, where if the vehicle drifts out, it'll automatically correct itself. So we leverage that technology that we've implemented on the truck side from our parent company, bringing that over into the walk-in van.
So not only are they built to last, they come with a support team that actually sticks around after delivery.
The maintenance of an Allison transmission, which we use on our ICE engines, is very, very little. Everybody's very familiar with the longevity and durability of Allison. Like you said, the Cummins, and if you've running Cummins, it's going to be very similar in the maintenance schedules. There are, you brought up brake sensors. We do offer Walther Duraforce brakes that last approximately 5 times longer than competitive brakes. So they're, again, back to the customization of the vehicles, and it also does play into the maintenance. And then they have a partner that's 24/7 with Freightliner Custom Chassis. They can call us 24/7. If they've got a vehicle that's from our factory and it starts with 4UZ, they have access to our factory technicians for the life of the vehicle. So it's not just during warranty. They can contact us at any time to help troubleshoot or get them out of trouble or get them to a dealer, get them a tow. We have the people and the manpower that are right there next door to all of our engineers at the factory too. So it's all in-house, and it's really a seamless experience when it comes to service and our dealership network.
And safety matters, especially when your drivers are stopping hundreds of times a day.
I think on the gasoline and diesel side, it's your traditional maintenance. So it's regular oil change, it's brake inspections, fluid top-offs, the normal maintenance you would do on any commercial vehicle, greasing, all the Zerk fittings within the suspension. We do have brake sensor monitoring, so we can monitor when those brake pads are worn and alert the drivers so that they can schedule service with their fleet manager. And outside of that, it's really the regular maintenance that you would have on any vehicle within a fleet. On the electric side, it's even lower maintenance, right? You take away the oil changes, you take away the internal combustion engine that needs attention, and it's a really low level of maintenance needed for the EV. So that helps with the total cost of ownership when looking at the EV.
So the takeaway? A walk-in van isn't just another fleet vehicle. It's a customizable, purpose-built workhorse designed to grow with your business. If you haven't considered one yet, it might be time to walk this way.